Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 91. It's Iliya here, and as always I'm super excited to have you here, and here we are with another video in which we're gonna cover the market, how it developed this week, what opportunities did we have, and what we can potentially expect for the upcoming one. Although this week we're gonna see from the weekly candles we did not have pretty much no movement at all. There were some massive intraday trades that we capitalized on, so I'm gonna try to show you as much as possible in order for you to extract a lot of value, then go back this on your own and see how you could have gotten into the trades. And of course I'm gonna try to forecast a little bit for what could happen into the next week, but of course always make sure to stay tuned for my Tuesday Telegram analysis, because then Monday's price action has already played out and I'm giving you a fresh perspective of what actually I'm gonna trade, because you know usually Monday opens and then your analysis from Saturday or Sunday completely gets out of the way, so you have to actually do it again. All right, so if you're new to the channel, it's all about trading. I share this weekly outlook and setups every Saturday, and once per week I try to share an educational piece of content. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so. Hit the notification bell as well in order not to miss the content that is upcoming, and if you already did, let's not waste any time and jump into the markets. Alright, as always, starting with our best friend the Dixie to have a look how the dollar developed this week and what we can potentially expect, because always starting with a DXY is gonna tell you what you can potentially expect on Euro and on the other USD pairs as well. So if you have a look, actually this week, if you remember, we had the FOMC interest rate decision press conference and all of that stuff that really introduced a massive move in the market. However, you can see for 2 weeks that we are consolidating around this area. And if you remember from previous volumes as well, I've been calling this level right there that the market nicely tapped into, which is precisely 92,500. We tapped it to precision with this wick. And right now it looks like it's consolidating. However, right now the question is, what is the next move of the dollar? Are we gonna start creating lower lows, or is it still not ready and maybe we're gonna make a move higher? All right. So this is what we have to see right now. Dropping on the daily, you can actually see when the market opened on the 15 right there, we had a little bit of a bullish indecision, then a strong bearish engulf. So as you can see right there, we have an evening star formation, and all the people, for example, trading only candlestick formations, they're gonna go short on this one. And then as you can see, bang, stop loss. And again, if we just pay attention from the daily, what is the structure doing? We have a push from the downside, a pullback, which is a higher low, then we have a higher high, a beautiful push into the highs, and right now we're just consolidating in the middle. All right, because where is our higher low? It's right there. This is 91 key level as well. So as long as the market stays above this level on the daily, we can consider the market to still be bullish. All right, but this is in terms of a daily price action. So again, you can right click, not right click, but double click on that rectangle and type in right there daily level or daily higher low, something like this. So as you drop on the 4-hourly time frame, you know what is the range that you're currently trading into. And as you can see, this is the price action for this week. This is from the previous. This is it. Consolidation, 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 sharp pop to the downside. This is the FOMC, and then we retraced all the way up. Stopped out the people that were short right there, because you can see we kind of had this consolidation. The market faked below, faked above. So everybody is tricked right now. Therefore, we definitely have to be patient and see what is gonna happen. So right now, again, if I try to analyze the structure, it's a little bit difficult, because we have that push to the downside that didn't make a lower low. Again, if you haven't gone through my free course, make sure to do so, because there I actually explain how to analyze structure and how to draw it, and I think it's gonna be an amazing addition to you when you watch the weekly outlook and setups. So basically we kind of have a double bottom right there, so the market hasn't completely reversed yet. We have this sharp spike to the upside that actually confirms the higher high, and right now kind of this wick right there is our kind of a 4-hourly low. As you can see, we have a 4-hourly low, and then as we drop to the hourly time frame, we can see that we're currently tapping inside this 4-hourly low. So actually this is our hourly low as well. So for next week, I'm actually going to be looking how the market is going to react from this level. My question is, are we going to pump into the upside from here, or are we going to break down, come back for the retest, and then potentially introduce a new downtrend inside this daily level? All right, so kind of the DXY right now, it's a little bit indecisive, because you can see if you just have a look at it, we're stuck in a consolidation. All right, let's be realistic, we're stuck in a consolidation. But again, we have to try to kind of dig deeper into the chart in order to see where the market can potentially go. But again, as for my analysis, I am monitoring this level, which is my 4-hourly low, If this level gets broken, then potentially I'm going to be looking for a lower high and then potentially a pop into around 9,500, which is a daily level. And then from there, I'm going to reanalyze and see if I'm going to go long or if the pressure is really much to the downside. So definitely we can start looking for shorts on the dollar. All right. So let's see, make sure to have this level marked and let's wait for Monday to open and see how the DXY is going to play out. Euro dollar weekly time frame, exactly the same price action but just flipped in reverse. As you can see, for 2 weeks again we have been tapping into this weekly area that I've been speaking about for quite some time, and this is 18,500. We tapped it, we rejected it, and this week we kind of failed to push higher and we're still consolidating around that area. So make sure to keep in mind that we're sitting at a weekly level. On the daily time frame, the price is still bearish. All right, so actually our major lower high on the daily is this one. So as long as the market kind of stays below this one, we should be considering the market to be bearish. But then as you can see on the daily, we formed this little bit of a resistance level right there, and actually this week's price action starts from here. Little indecision, again another push down, a massive pump up, then a massive pump down, and then we ended up with indecision as well. So for swing traders, it is really hard right now to trade, I can presume, but for day traders it is kind of not bad. And then if I remove that level right there, there were a couple of trades that were taken. So we actually have a short from here, then we actually had a long from this full hourly higher low, which is a very strong supply area. So let me actually first break down the trades. I have them right there, this one, and this one. Let's see if they pop out. All right, let's jump into this. So this is the first trade that I took this week. I'm gonna try to share the MT4 thingy so you can see the entry as well. So basically what I looked at is the market was kind of looking at this double bottom formation right there, and I tried to take it higher inside this level right there where later we took a short from. And as you can see, then if I drop to the 15-minute time frame, the market tapped to the downside but then strongly pushed above, which indicated to me that there are a lot of buyers sitting at that area. And then actually dropped to the 5-minute, and I analyzed my market right here. Like you can see that this is a little consolidation. We had a nice fake below and then the market pushed higher high, higher low, beautiful higher high that broke this structure on the left, because if you consider this as your structure, it was broken with a candle close above. All right. And then I actually wanted to enter from this extreme right there. Then the market started creating this choppy price action right there, kind of a little head and shoulders. And I was like, all right, we have a head and shoulders, so people will go short right there. I'm going to go long. And then the market tapped me inside right there. I had not sure what my stop loss was, but I entered from here, and yeah, then the market pushed up. It was looking really nice. Then the market sharply pulled back inside my entry, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna close it. Then as the market pushed up, I was like, okay, so if it's gonna push up, it's gonna push up. And then as I started seeing those big bearish candle, and then I closed my trade just around right there at break even. And but yeah, this was too early. Like you can see later, it actually hit stop loss, so I was super happy to have closed this trade on break even. So yeah, this is my first trade. Then let me see. Yeah, then this one was a really fire trade. This one, oh, my community actually smashed this one and even rode it into the downside right there. And why was this trade taken? This was a simple kind of a play of consolidation and then a fake. As you can see, the whole Monday we build up that big consolidation right there. So as you see consolidation, you can expect two things, either a strong breakout or a fake out. And most of the times you're gonna have a fake out. And then what we had marked actually is this level, which is kind of a lower high on the hourly time frame, and a strong. Why is this a strong level? Because you can see this is the last buy before a big sell off to the downside. So this is a footprint that potentially a lot of sell orders were entered right there. And it makes sense that if the market comes inside again, we're going to have a potential reaction. All right. And then as the market actually kicked inside that area, you can see that we have around London Open right there. The market sharply pulled inside that area. And then actually the trade was taken on the 1 minute. Again, it's all the same concepts. Market structure shift, you have the consolidation, the market breaks below, breaks the last higher low, because again, let's analyze structure, again, a little exercise. We have a push up, a pullback, higher low, then we have a higher high, kind of, not really, because if we have a look at the wick, this didn't close. Then we have a little bit of a pullback, which is nothing significant though. Then we make a higher high, this is a confirmed higher high, all right? And this makes this level our higher low. this one. The market strongly breaks, pulls back, strongly breaks. So this whole move is an indication of the market starting to reverse potentially. And so what I simply did is I identified my last structure, which is kind of this level right there. So the entry was taken from here. Then we had another break that was a confluence that the market really wants to push down. Another retest exactly right there. And then the market just plummeted to the downside. So this was a really nice play. And yeah, if you wrote it to the downside, it would have been around, 1 to 17, which is massive. So this was the other kind of an intraday trade on euro. And then we had one final one, I believe. Let me see. So this is the long. Did I break this down? No. Oh yeah, this is actually the long trade. So after this big flush down, we kind of had this consolidation. So again, if you have such a big push, you can expect a pullback. Right, so I tried to counter trend this one, but actually, to be honest, I wasn't triggered on that trade, because if I go right there, again, if I try to build the story actually why I took this trade, oh man, I should just use the replay too. This pair might take a lot of time. So yes, here we go. So again, you can see a lot of consolidation build up right there. And again, the concept of a consolidation is just accumulation. So potentially you're gonna have a fake. And as you can see where the real move started, it's down there. So where the market gravitates towards is exactly right there. But I didn't just want to press buy right there. So what I did is I dropped to the 1 minute time frame, and this was the overall play. But my mistake was that I kind of had this break, this retest, and then we had that strong push up. But I kind of felt that this was a little bit too high for me to enter, because my stop loss, it's 3 pips. But I was like, okay, I want to enter from where the actual move started, which was right there. So I had my entry right here, and I actually wanted to keep a bigger stop loss. I don't know what I was thinking. It was something like this. And then the market missed me and then just ran away. But again, some of my members actually took that trade. So they actually smashed the euro dollar this week. And this is basically EU. Then we had another short trade. It was right there, kind of aggressive, because again, you see the market was just trading in a consolidation. From supply to demand, from demand to supply, we sharply pulled to the downside and we pulled back. So you can possibly take an aggressive trade right there. Then the market flushed lower. Again, where to? Inside the demand. And then we had another long right there. So again, guys, rewatch this, go to your charts and see how you can have a look at those pairs and how you could have potentially taken in them. So right now, if you remember from previous volumes, I've been calling this level right there. This is the daily lower high. I really want to see the market come inside before actually taking a short. We created this beautiful double top. Again, that can potentially be taken out and the market can trend up. But in all honesty, what is this market doing? It is consolidating. All right, so those are our levels right now. Double top and a double bottom. All right, so what I really want to see for next week is I want to see some developments. All right, so I want to see potentially a break above, a retest, and then potentially break into the highs. This is my 4 hourly kind of high, so make sure to mark it 4 hourly high. And as we have a break above, a retest, then I can potentially look for the longs. And if in case the market breaks below, I'm gonna wait for the retest and potentially to head lower. All right, so again, make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis, where I'm gonna give you a fresh breakdown of EU. Let's have a quick look at EJ. So as you can see, we're having an overall bearish week, which is not bad. And after a big move to the upside, we should definitely expect some sort of a pullback. Where to? Well, those levels haven't been retested. So again, we have a huge downside if this is actually going to reverse. But then again, dropping on the daily time frame, you can see that we're overall bullish. All right, we have this nice pump into the highs, then eventually this makes this level our daily higher low. We have a pump down, we have another pump up, then when this big wick indicates something that a lot of liquidity was taken above, and then we sharply push to the downside. So does this change the 4 hourly structure? I think so. So definitely I would expect some downside on this one, because have a look what happened. This is really confusing right there, because we kind of had this kind of a structure shift right there. We have a sharp break below that broke all the structure on the left, and then we should wait for lower highs right there. But what the market did is it sharply pulled above to potentially trigger buyers and to stop out the sellers, and then we all of a sudden reverse down. All right, so really tricky price action. But again, just to keep it simple, let's try to find our structural levels. Well, the most recent one is this one on the 4 hourly. Why? Because the market pushed. It is one candle of pullback, which is not significant, but then we made a lower low, so that makes it correct. So what I'm going to be looking for is for the market to get inside that area, to show me a potential rejection and a lower high formation. Potentially you can drop to the hourly time frame. I explain what to look for in the hourly time frame in my free course, so make sure to cover this one. and then eventually I want to see the market drop lower right there. But if you see that EJ hasn't been moving pretty nicely, therefore I would really appreciate some more clear price action from it before I actually start looking at it, because I'm currently not trading Euro JPY. I know the JPY pairs, therefore let's be patient, but overall I'm having a short outlook on EJ. Let's have a look at the Aussie, starting from AU, which is one of my favorite pairs. But as you can see, for quite some time, yes, we are consolidating inside that area and it's potentially kind of distributing before actually heading lower. And I really have an expectation that the market will eventually come to retest this whole zone, because as you can see, again, we consolidated for some time and then we sharply impulsed out of it. And the market, for example, hasn't come back to retest this area. So there is a high potential that the market is going to travel to there, but it's going to take some time. Then dropping to the daily, which is really interesting, guys, right? So let's again break down the structure. Where is my tool brush? So we sharply pull into the highs, creation of a higher high. Then this is our higher low, which got broken right there. Pullback, lower high, lower low. That confirms this to be our lower high, right? And then the market spikes above it, takes out the liquidity, and right now we kind of start to pull to the downside a little bit. So as you can see, just from very quickly illustrating this daily picture, I am more or less sell bias on it, and I'm gonna drop this little rectangle right there, which is our daily level. Again, always guys, make sure to drop, for example, daily lower high, so that you know where you are in terms of price action. Then dropping to the 4-hourly time frame. So basically this is the whole week of Aussie. I didn't take any trades, like consolidation. Then the news came out, massive pump into the highs, and then all of a sudden a massive withdrawal to the downside. So currently 4-hourly price action is a little bit bullish. Why? Because we have this very strong demand area just right there. Because you can see from here, a lot of buyers were launched. This is news, of course, but again, it doesn't matter. There were a lot of buyers in this area. And as you can see, the market has tapped inside, reacted, tapped inside again and reacted, but it's not strong. All right. So kind of my outlook on the Aussie right now will be, let's just wait for something to happen and to clearly indicate where this market wants to go. All right. Eventually, if we break below that level, this level was kind of tapped, but of course I'm going to drop a few lines. So this can be a potential target, and then kind of this can be a potential target. Right, this is 76,500 and this is 77, which is kind of got tapped. Therefore, what I actually expect on this one? Potentially, I would really love to see a break below this level, which is going to confirm a lower low. So then we can look for the pullback. But again, I think the market might find a little bit of a support right there to pull back. But if it fails to break above this level, because this is currently our higher high, so we should be bullish right now, right? We should be looking for longs. But again, everything suggests from the daily that we might go bearish. All right. But of course, if we break above that level, then we should go longs and then potentially look for this supply area to get retested and then potentially take a short from there. Right. So the Aussie right now, it's not entirely clear to me. We can look for longs into market open, and we can look for shorts if the market decides to pull back to create a lower high right there. So again, let's wait for Monday to play out. Eventually, what could happen as well is the market, you can see that we're creating an overall consolidation. It can spike below and then jump above. All right, because you can see like right there, this is actually where the move started. So we can pump inside that area. Maybe we can even revisit 0.77 and then to potentially start creating that lower high that I speak about, or maybe even to go for a higher high. So again, the Aussie, make sure to have those levels marked right there. But as always, make sure to give it a little bit of time in order for the price to show you actually where it wants to go. And then just going to AJ, kind of the same. Weekly time frame, a big wick to the upside. Daily time frame, again, you can see that we opened a little bit slow. Then we had this huge spike into the upside. And right now it looks like it created a higher high and it's about to pull back to the downside. Then dropping to the 4-hourly time frame. Eventually, a great target will be this area, right? Because this is the area like a double tap and then a sharp move above. So therefore, like, yeah, it's not a major level, but I totally think that we're going to tap inside that area right there. And as you can see, like a big push up, a big push down, totally unclear price action. And as well, it is sitting at such the same area of demand as AU does. And yeah, the hourly time frame is actually pretty sloppy right now. We can mark some areas on the hourly because this is actually our hourly lower high. So eventually, if the market decides to pull back inside this area, we can look for the shorts, all right, which will be a 4-hourly lower high as well. As you can see, we have a push down and eventually the market will pull back and we're going to have the MSS formation that I spoke about in the course. All right, just a failure to make a new higher high and then potentially changing the trend from the upside. Therefore, again, Let's give the Aussies some time. They're currently way too low, so we can look for buys, but that buy I would classify as a retracement trade in order for later to look for that lower high and then eventually to fall lower and to come and revisit those weekly and daily areas. All right, so let's give it some time and make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis. Let's have a quick look at the NZDs because there is pretty much nothing to cover. As you can see, for 2 weeks we're just consolidating right there, 2 big weekly wicks. All right, so nothing too much to actually break down. And again, as you can see, similar price action. We have this daily lower high, which is really nice, and again we make that big high, then we sharply push down. The market is too bullish at that time, but then we pull back, we actually create a lower high, and then we sharply broke to the downside, breaking the structure on the left, which confirms this to be a lower high, which makes this our major daily lower high. And then this week we kind of chopped around, and if I drop to the hourly time frame, like this is it. We had this consolidation, a big pump up, and then a big pump down. So yeah, pretty hard to say what this market wants to do. All right, we are basically sitting inside this kind of demand area. As you can see, we pushed up, we tapped again, and we were failing to break below it. So what could happen again is something similar to AU. We might start with a little bit of a bullishness right there, eventually to create a lower high, and then maybe we're gonna start pumping down. But this market is unclear to me. It is overall consolidating, and if I even drop to the hourly, like you can see, big consolidation for quite some time, and we just moved on the 17th of March overnight, massive pump up, the corrective pump down. So eventually, if the hourly time frame starts breaking structure, like a break of this structure right there, we can look for the pullback and to potentially ride it up. Very short term though, because I expect actually a lower high to be created in around those areas right there. Yeah, I pretty much, to be honest, I don't have a breakdown on NZDUSD, but something like this. I will be looking at lower high and then eventually actually to carry on with that downtrend, because those 2 big wicks could be another lower high, because you can see we have a lower high, push down, pull back. If you maybe even drop a fib right there, it could be kind of a 78.6 or 61.8. Then we can eventually start heading lower. All right, but first of all, we're gonna need an exhaustion on the hourly before actually making the move down. And if I go to NJ, this actually broke the structure, which is really nice, because this indicates that potentially NU might head lower. And as you can see, this one actually tapped inside this very strong supply area. Why is this very strong? Huge pump into the upside, and then all of a sudden huge pump to the downside. So this just makes sense that there are a lot of sellers entering from that area. And then as you can see, again, the same pattern, big push up and then a big push down. So actually this area is still valid. And maybe, as I keep saying, we're going to have that pullback at first at market open, maybe Monday and Tuesday, and then eventually I'm going to expect a sell off. All right, I kind of see like a little bit of a head and shoulders right there, left shoulder head, eventually a right shoulder as well, and then we can potentially start heading lower. And as you can see, we're already having, there were kind of different types of head and shoulders. This one is actually the highest probability one because it broke to the downside right there. Therefore, definitely looking for shorts on the NZDs and on the Aussies. But first of all, I need to see some more clear price action and some more developments, right? So let's wait for it. All right, let's have a look at some USD, starting from UJ. As you can see, we're having a pretty much indecisive week. And again, it looks pretty good for the next candle to be a bearish one, but we shall see this, all right? So as you can see, this whole move to the downside right now is being taken out massively, all right? And right now, this is kind of a level right there that the market will be reacting to. Therefore, I'm gonna drop to the daily, maybe to see. And yes, you can have a look at, again, same pattern, big push up and then a strong push down. And currently the market is tapping inside that area on the daily. Make sure to mark your daily high or low as well, which is this one. Right, you can mark it, right click, double click and type daily. Let me actually do it for you, daily high or low, something like this. And again, make sure that you are aware that we're currently sitting at a very strong supply area. And then even going further to actually see like this, you can see that we kind of had a few levels to mark. This could be one, and then eventually the extreme could be this one. So this is potentially where the market could react. And if you go to the right, we can see that they haven't been tapped yet, right? And as you can see right there, yeah, we push down, we push up, consolidate. Nothing much on UJ this week. If I drop to the hourly, push down, pull back, potential short from here, push, potential short. There were some potential shorts, but nothing clear, all right? So actually right now, I want you guys to be really careful with UJ because it's really starting to consolidate right now and to distribute, eventually to go lower. All right. So currently a very strong area that I actually see is this one. Is this sort of demand area. So what we could do is the market can tap inside and we can sharply push above to tap inside those levels that I mentioned on the left. And then we're going to have the reversal, because keep in mind the market is super extended on the weekly. It's not just going to reverse like that. It's first going to consolidate. It's first going to manipulate, trick buyers, trick sellers. And then once everybody's tricked, then it's going to reverse. All right. So this is some sort of a play that I expect. It would be really nice to see 109,500 get tapped, because you can see that 109. Yes, we are reacting. If we go to the daily, the market is kind of, no, it actually closed above 109. So my next stop is 109,500. It's exactly in the middle between those two levels that I marked. Therefore, let's just wait for this. Personally, maybe shorter term longs inside that area and then eventually looking for shorts. And as the market gets inside there, make sure to wait for a structure shift on the lower time frames before actually taking a short. All right. So UJ is definitely awaiting something. Maybe we're going to have some news events next week that are going to be a catalyst for this market to reverse. So again, let's be patient. Let's be mindful, have those levels marked and just be patient. USD CAD weekly time frame, it's a pair that I haven't traded for ages and actually removed it from my watch list. But as you can see right now, we're getting inside a very strong area, which is this kind of a higher low formation from 2 years ago. And again, if we make it a zone, we can see that we're currently tapping inside this big demand zone. So definitely we can expect some sort of a reaction. If you even go on the daily, you can have a look at it again, but I'm not gonna drop that further. But as you can see, currently we are perfectly bearish, right? This is our major lower high. Actually, do I drop it like this, or maybe I take all the wicks like this? Yeah, I'm just gonna make it a big zone like this. Again, right click daily lower high so that you know how the market is trending right now. We just created a lower low, and right now the market is in a pullback phase, potentially for another short. But as you can see, then on the full hourly, we have this kind of fake, then we have the market sharply pushing up right now and kind of breaking structure right on the left. Therefore, again, if you know that we are currently sitting at a daily lower low, I would expect the market to come and revisit those highs right there. So for example, if the market develops something like this, a pullback, a confirmed higher, why this one stop? If I have a pullback like this and then a confirmed higher low, then I eventually can start looking to take longs on UCAD, because as you can see, the last lower high was perfectly broken. Therefore, I am kind of willing to reverse my bias to longs on this one, right? So let's wait for it. I am long bias on UCAD. If I have this nice pullback, higher low formation, then we can eventually take it higher around, let's say, the daily levels right there, or maybe just kind of 50% of that move, the FIP, maybe 61.8, and then eventually from here we can start heading lower with the overall trend. All right, so that's my plan on UCAD. Let's see if we're gonna have a pullback, higher low, and then eventually a long setup. Another week of choppy USD Swiss franc price action. Again, you can see from previous one, we have a big wick. Right now we have another wick, and then dropping to the daily time frame. It is not clear what the higher low is, what the lower low is. Like we have this push down, pull back, push down. It kind of looks like it wants to push down. All right. Yeah, definitely, like if I look on the left, there are some levels to potentially look for a demand or for potential take profits if we go short. But then dropping to the full hourly price action, it is not clear. All right, we have this overall strong resistance right there. The market pushed inside, pull back again, drop below that broke structure. This is pretty nice, but then if you expect a lower high, we are not given that lower high. We actually break above. Definitely not clear price action for me, guys. So I am just waiting for something to happen. Like I'm gonna mark this resistance. And actually, I would say that this is actually a fake out right there, because you can see the market broke below and immediately returned back. It stayed below. So we can actually consider this. Let's say that we consider an overall level like this. And the market is currently in the middle. If you maybe drop to the hourly time frame, you can see some intraday moves. But when the full hourly price action is not clear for me, then I just avoid this market. And I haven't taken a trade for ages as well on USD Swiss and on USD CAD as well. UJ, I usually like it, but right now it's not playing out for some nice opportunities, so I'm not trading it as well. But USD CAD and USD Swiss are pairs that I have removed from my watch list. Therefore, I actually have no expectations on this one. It can do everything. It can continue to consolidate. It can maybe fake above and reverse. It can fake below and reverse. So therefore, let's just give it some time. In terms of daily, maybe we can expect a bigger pullback. And if we have that pullback, then eventually this level is a pretty nice, because you can see like higher low, higher high, one candle of pullback, and then a sharp pull away. That is 9,500 as well. So a lot of things can happen, but I'm just kind of trying to to force any scenarios right now. Nothing is clear for me right now, so let's just wait for some clear price action, maybe even next week. That is gonna make some sense. Alright, let's have a look at some GBPs starting from GU, and as you can see on the weekly time frame, nothing. It is just an indecisive candle, and it's been 3 in a row right now, and this is right now actually creating a range. Like if you just drop this range and maybe drop to the hourly, to the daily time frame, you can see that we're just up, down, up, down, up, down. So definitely something is cooking for this price. Alright, if I go back a little bit, you can see where the actual higher low is, where the actual swing is. It stems from right there, because you can see kind of consolidation, and all of a sudden a huge move up. All right. Of course, like in between, we have this little pullback, push, this little pullback, and then a huge push again. But this level was broken. Therefore, it indicates that this market actually wants to reverse a little bit to the downside. And as you can see, we're having an overall resistance right there on the daily. Then dropping to the 4-hourly time frame, well, it wasn't entirely clear what this market wanted to do, but there was a nice long trade that I didn't take. It was right there because it didn't provide me an entry. And then there was another short trade from up there, actually from this resistance level right there. It was exactly right here as well. And let me actually show you how it played out. I think, nope, it's not this one, this one. Yep, here it is. So again, if I just go to the replay to something like that, and then if I drop to the 5-minute maybe, or to the 15. Yeah, so as you can see, what we had right there is this kind of consolidation, which was the Asian consolidation. Then London opens and sharply pulls inside that level on the left, and have a look at the level 1.40. All right, so that is so nice. Sharp pull away. This again indicates that there are a lot of sellers entering from that area. Again, everything makes sense. And then dropping to the 5-minute, we can see just before entering the market, kind of consolidated for a little bit, and then we sharply pull away. And yeah, the entry is right there, kind of something like this, and the stop loss above, of course. And then the riding the market down. Let's see where it actually went. I think it actually continued very strongly. Yeah, as you can see, overall around 10 R&R on this trade. So that was the kind of the only trade that I spotted this week on GU. And then yeah, pretty much that was it. This was the trade I told you about, but it kind of, yeah, just tapped inside, and on the 5-minute it didn't show me any breaks of structure. Like after it's actually started to trend up, it just started trending up. All right, it wasn't like this. It wasn't like this setup right there that it showed us that pull away. It showed us like the little consolidation, the break of structure, which is right here. So that was a really nice trade, but the previous one wasn't pretty nice. Therefore, I actually didn't take that one. So right now, what could eventually happen? Let's try to break down this market. As I said, we're just jumping from supply to demand right now. Like this is the current area that the market is reacting to. As you can see, this sharp push down and then a sharp move up. And then overall, as I drew on the daily time frame, we're having this daily resistance area, which corresponds to 1.40 as well. Right now, the market is just consolidating. As you can see on the 4-hourly, we are in a consolidation. So it's pretty hard for me to actually determine the bias of this market. The hourly time frame sharply pulled lower, and yeah, eventually we can have this sort of level right there, which could be a lower high on the hourly. So eventually, if the market pushes inside right there for a lower high, we can look for shorts on GU. All right, but I'm definitely gonna give it some time to develop. Maybe we're gonna just break the structure to the downside to confirm potential lower low, and then I'm gonna be looking for the pullback and eventually to take shorts inside. Okay, I deleted this one, but there was that daily level. Yeah, this one, does it have a level? Yeah, 1.37. So if you drop a rate like this, 1.37 could be potential targets before maybe the weekly creates a higher low, and maybe we can head as well higher. Who knows? But again, just focusing on the most recent price action, it is not entirely clear to me what GU wants to do. So I'm gonna give it Monday to develop, maybe to break the structure, maybe to pull back inside this hourly level, so maybe we can look for some shorts. But overall, the market is consolidated right now, so be careful, all right, because it can do anything. And yeah, this is basically GU. I'm gonna give it some little time. Then on GJ, there was that other trade that I took this week. I really regret this one because I took it out at break even, and then it hit my take profit. But yeah, basically this is a very simple play. Double top formation, all right, break of structure. So what I look for is for a lower high inside this area. Then dropping to the hourly time frame, I actually saw this very nice level. Again, why is this very nice? Because a lot of sellers entered from it. Pullback, lower high, a lot of sellers again. But as you can see, the market kind of tapped inside this area. It reacted, but the sellers weren't enough. And then again, on London Open, after the Asian consolidation, we have a sharp move inside that area. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a short on this one. Then dropping onto the 50-minute, let me just delete this like this. You can see again, after the sharp push, we have structure, and that structure was broken. And again, you see where is, actually I took that little structure right there, this little one, in order to get a more precise entry. Entry was right there. I'm gonna try to share the MT4 thingy so that you can actually see the entry. I always forget, but I'm gonna give my best not to. And yeah, as you can see later, so the market strongly pushed down, right? Pulled back, then pushed back down. All right, and kind of didn't break structure, and I'm super stressed right now. Like I'm usually not that stressed, but I was super stressed on this one because you can see overall we were bullish. On the hourly time frame, we pushed up and then we pulled back, and I thought that this is a hard low, so I'm basically selling against the trend. So I was a little bit more stressed than usual. The market pushes down, pushes back up, and I was like, nah, man, I just can't hold this. And then I believe I went break even around, I'm not sure, but I went break even on this one, and yeah. All of a sudden, a little bit later right there, New York session, the market just goes down and hits take profit. So it happens, guys, it happens. And I'm sure a lot of you have closed trades before they actually develop or went out because you just don't feel it. It happens, but again, imagine that it was a stop loss. Then you would have actually felt bad if you let the trade run, because eventually you can see that actually it reversed. And yeah, this is my GJ trade for this week. And I haven't taken pretty much nothing after this because it kind of broke structure up. Then we sharply pulled lower, and we haven't broken this major structure right there. So this is basically still support. And if I try to zoom in right there, I don't see clear price action. Possibly this little bullish candle could be creating hourly structure, maybe similar to GU. But yes, you can currently see the price action on GJ. It is not entirely clear for me. But again, exactly the same as GU. I can expect the market to pull back inside this hourly level, and if it forms a lower high, then we can eventually look for the shorts. And if I drop to the daily, let's have a look. Yeah, I would say that this is my major high low because this is the clear pullback. And then we make this leg up, then we have this little indecision, then we have not really indecision, but eventually if the 4-hourly time frame is going to reverse on GJ, we can take shorts all the way down into 148,500. All right, so this is kind of a call that I make right now. But first of all, I really need to see a confirmed lower high because we don't have it so far, like a clear lower high. This is not a lower high right there on the 4-hourly. Like I want to see a clear push, pullback, lower high, and a break, and not something like this. All right, you get the point. There is a difference between this and let's say this push, pullback, high, low, and then a continuation. All right, so those are my thoughts on GJ. Overall, looking for shorts. I look for shorts maybe on GU as well. Then dropping on GA, it's a pair that I don't trade, but as you can see, the overall development, kind of we created this double top formation, actually faked above it, but we didn't close above. This is another pretty important thing to note. Sharp move below that actually broke structure right there. And right now we actually tapped inside this lower high formation right there, and we're already reacting from it. Weekly, let's check quickly. Yeah, push up, push down. It kind of looks bullish, but yeah, it's overall very difficult price action on this one to read. On the daily, we fake above, we pull back, double top formation, haven't broken below. So basically this is still that supportive level that is sitting in right there. And then eventually dropping to the 4-hourly time frame, you can see that we have this push up. Big correction down, tap inside that area, sharp reaction, but is it bearish or is it bullish? But if I've only focused on the 4-hourly, it is bearish, right? Then dropping to the hourly time frame, I'm going to be looking for the market to get inside that area again to form a double top or a lower high, and then I'm going to be looking for the sell-off, all right? Why don't I want to look for sales from here? Because the market already pulled away from that area. So I want to get high. I want to get from a higher price, which is right there, 79.8 or maybe 1.80 if the market retraces back there. And then from there, I'm going to be looking for the shorts on GA. And Euro GBP, yeah, just guys, my analysis on this one is, is this. Nothing that I see on this one. There was a little long from right there that actually called, I believe, because we had this break of structure that confirmed the high. We pushed inside and there was that big long. All right, so that is fine. But since then, push back below and we've been consolidating. So I don't know what is happening with this market. Daily time frame, overall consolidation. Weekly time frame, we are a little bit too low. So we can definitely expect the market to pull back. All right, and then potentially the GU to start pulling back down. This we can start pull back up. Keep in mind that we have like this very strong area right there that the market can eventually tap inside, and 0.85. So we might still have a little bit of a downside, but yeah, I just don't see anything on this one, guys. So therefore, let's just yeah, I'm just letting go for it for now before I see any clear price action. Of course, you can drop to the hourly and you can start forcing trades, but as I always say, if the full hourly is not clear for me, then I don't continue with my analysis. So those are the GBPs. Let's see what's gonna happen, and let's have a look at some final indices and gold. Alright, gold weekly time frame. What do we have right there? So again, as you can see, this big push to the upside. What does that indicate is that there were a lot of buyers from this very big kind of a demand zone, which is 1700s as well. Very nice round number. Dropping to the daily time frame, you can see that yes, we can make it a little bit smaller, something like this. And as you can see, the market very nicely tapped inside and we are reacting. And if you really zoom in, again, this is not clear structure, but if we consider this to be our daily high, it was broken. So I think that gold might start to actually pump up a little bit, then dropping to the forward time frame. We can see that even since here, we had this break of structure, we had this retest down there, and then the market consolidated, fake above, fake below. So right now, just right now, the price action is not entirely clear, but what I will be looking for is for the market to retest this very strong demand area, all right? Because you can see a sharp move down, a sharp move up. So therefore, there are a lot of buy orders there. So if I see the market gravitate towards that area, which is again 1700s, then eventually we can start looking for the longs on gold, all right? Because we actually have confirmed on the daily and on the full hourly that there are some bullish sentiments, all right? And as you can see, a lot of consolidation right there that can be taken out. Actually, this wick took out everything, because if I go on the hourly, you're gonna see all of that consolidation that was taken out by this big wick right there, and then the market actually showed a little bit of signs for the reversal. But I still think that we might see a little bit lower prices before reversing up. So guys, let me know, what are your thoughts on gold? Do you think it's going up? Where do you think it's gonna retest, or are we going down further? Do you think 1700s can get retested again, or are we just gonna start pushing up? And as for targets, again, targets are easy because we can just target daily lower highs. Like this is a first lower high. If I drop to the forward time frame, we can even kind of make it a little bit lower, something like this. And yeah, this can be a first target, which is 1800s. So basically we have a 100 pip range right there to trade with. So let's see what gold will have for us this week. If you are invested in stocks at some point the previous week or this week, actually your portfolio was looking amazing. Like I had an equity high of my portfolio as well, but as you can see, we're already starting that pullback stage. And again, I would expect the market to come and revisit this weekly area on US 30 and then eventually to start heading higher again. Dropping to the daily time frame, as you can see, huge high, and right now we're starting to initiate the pullback. Therefore, guys, I would say that we might have a little bit of a downside on the indices before actually reversing up, so that will be a really nice opportunity to actually buy. And then again, dropping to the 4 hourly time frame, you can see that the most recent price action was broken. Therefore, we can have a shorter term correction right there on the 4 hourly, and then eventually we can start heading lower. So very simply broken down, US 30, I see some downside. Same story with NASDAQ, which is kind of already even reversed from a weekly time frame, because if we zoom in, if we zoom in, we can see that this structure was broken right there, and we're currently retesting some of those levels, which are going to be maybe seen on the daily. Let's see. Yeah, exactly right. This. And yes, you can see that we had a lower low confirmed, pull back into the lower high. So therefore, we can still see some bearishness on this one. Is it gonna really crash? Like, is it gonna reach around 1100s or something like this? We don't know, all right? But definitely we can see a lot of downside on this one, so be prepared. I actually haven't put a lot of money into stocks this week. What did I buy this week? I made a new investment this week. I think it was either Johnson & Johnson or what was the other one? Or JP, no. Yeah, oh man, I forgot what I bought. Procter & Gamble. Yeah, I bought some PG. Yep, because the price was lower, so I made that little investment there. But yes, definitely expecting some downside on the indices. But as you can see, S&P this is my biggest holding. I really love this index. It made a hard high, and right now we're having that little pullback as well. And as you can see, from a higher low, we create another higher low. Right now we can have another one, and then eventually to push higher. So let's see how the market is going to react from here, if we eventually can have that pullback and then eventually look to put more money in. If I drop to the 4 hourly time frame, like the extreme level is this one. Oops, not this one. like this. So yeah, I would consider actually around 10% a really nice pullback. So this is around 5. So yeah, I don't think 10% we're gonna nice, but around 6 to 5% is usually a correction, which is a really nice buying opportunity. As you can see right there, we had the 5%, then we moved up again. If we have a look right there, there is another 5%. So this is nice. 5 to 6% is a correction. And yeah, if we go lower than that, as you can see right there, 10% is actually yeah, more than a correction. And then if we go right there, this is more of a crash. Yeah, okay, this is 10% again. Where is the Corona crash? I don't know. I'm not gonna go look for it right now. But yeah, definitely guys, for next week, we can have a little bit more of a downside on the indices, which could be another nice buying opportunity if you are invested in stocks. And this is how I'm gonna wrap up this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it and got something from it. Please make sure to hit the like button if you did. Leave a comment below. I always appreciate seeing you in the comments. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, sorry for not posting educational content. I'm stepping down a little bit from that because I'm focused on really refining my trading, and I'm having a little bit of challenges running along the side as well. So therefore, I'm always gonna give my best to publish something, but make sure to bear with me because I need a little bit of time off of social media. I haven't been really active on Instagram as well, but I promise to get back even stronger. All right, so thank you so much guys for watching. I wish you an amazing weekend and a trading week, and make sure to stay tuned for my Tuesday analysis on Telegram. See you there.